And yet abroad, outside of North America, I should say, I think he remains best known for a wonderful book he wrote, and it is widely read, a book called Devotional Cinema, which has been translated into Spanish, Italian, and which is now in its 3rd edition. This is a book that opens up and explains, elucidates certain central ideas of Dorsky's cinema, yet with a gentle rigor and a measured tone and patience, which I think is really revealing, because it's an expression, I think, of the absolute humility, which I think is so important to Dorsky's cinema. These are films that I think embody a humility towards the world that both confirms us and goes beyond us. There are moments of rapturous beauty in Dorsky's films. And these moments, though we're reminded, are resolutely of this world, and yet they also transcend it. And this is a remarkable achievement. In these moments, I think Dorsky's films reveal the true magic and mystery of cinema. And at the same time, they also renew the full potential of vision. And vision as a way of not just seeing, but a way of experiencing, a way of being one with the world. To see in Nathaniel Dorsky's films, I think is an act of love. And this is why I think these films have such profound emotional qualities. These are rigorous films, and yet at the same time I think they're incredibly delicate. And these are films that depend upon a kind of perfection of presentation. These are films that are shot on 16mm film, a now endangered medium, a fragile medium. And so we're so grateful that we could be seeing these films here at the Cinemateca Portuguesa, one of the few institutions I think that's really dedicated to not just preserving film, but also preserving the film experience. So we're very grateful to Luis Miguel Oliveira, and to, of course, Zé Manuel Costa, the director who sadly, of this renowned institution, who sadly cannot be with us today. And I think the awareness that we have now of the endangered state of film, and of 16mm in particular, I think actually has paradoxically made us, I think, more, has allowed us to see, I think, with more rigor, with more attention, with more sensitivity, these films, such as Nathaniel Dorsky's, not that they can be compared to any others. So once again, I'm thrilled that we can have this experience together. We will be joined today not only by Nathaniel Dorsky, who will now introduce the films, but we're also joined by a really extraordinary group. Mark McElhatton is one of the film curators I most respect. He's here from New York, and he is responsible for a visionary and important program called Views the Avant-Garde, which he led for many years. Extraordinary and remarkable achievement. We're also joined by Carlo Chrétien, from the director of the Locarno Film Festival. Locarno Film Festival, one of the great festivals today. Its ambitions and its achievements are vast, and yet it's still intimate in its experience. And I think that's something that's very hard to achieve today, and yet he makes it all possible. So we're thrilled that Carlo can be here, and of course, Joaquin Sapinho will be here as well. But now, with no further ado, please join me in welcoming Nathaniel Dorsky.
Hello, everyone. Oh, this is wonderful to see all of you and be in this very gentle and very gentle country. I've come a long way to be here, and it's a real pleasure to be able to present these films on a gray afternoon. I was hoping it wouldn't be sunny, so force you indoors on a nice day. We're going to show 4 films now, and then at 7, 4 films, which are my 4 most recent films. And this set of 4 films is about 5 films back from the set we're going to show at 7. And these 4 films we're seeing, I'm not showing them that in the order they were made, but they were all made one after the other. In other words, this group of 4 was made. I can't say it clearly. This group of 4 was made one after the other, but I'm not showing it in the order that they were made. What's interesting about this first set is, since I was 10 years old, I shot a film emulsion called Kodachrome, which is a kind of a home movie emulsion, a reversal emulsion, meaning you actually projected the camera footage itself, and it has a great, it was a gorgeous thing. It's kind of a gold in the stock, where you felt you were putting gold through the gate of your camera. And this set of 4 has the last 3 films that I was able to make in Kodachrome because it was terminated by Eastman Kodak. And the 3rd film in the set of 4 is actually my first attempt to make a film with a color negative, which is sort of like a painter who might be painting in oils, suddenly having to use acrylics or pastel or something. And it was just the beginning of trying to understand this new style. The films, in a sense, are a theme and variations in reverse. It's more like 3 variations and then the theme. Don't take it too literally. There's no theme really, and there's no variations. But the 3 first ones really are they are variations on the last one we're going to see. Variations in the sense that the last one is kind of a very grounded film, and the others are more dense form or some kind of variation on that. So I'm going to speak between each film because otherwise they sort of jam up on each other. The only thing I can apologize for is that we're going to show 4 films. And if you were to open up a book of poetry, you wouldn't want to necessarily be obligated to read 4 poems before you closed it. You might just read 1 poem and you're done. But because this is a film show, you're going to be forced to read 4 poems. There's one other thing, very subtle thing. We've been working hard on the projection, and the projector has the films are a little off-center. You won't notice that. But you'll notice that on the titles, it'll be just a little off-center. So if you're wondering about that, if you think I'm not very good at shooting titles, I just want to defend myself. So the first film is called Sarah Bond, which is a dance form, and it's the first of the variations. I'd like to explain, since probably only a few people have seen my films, just very briefly, a little maybe hint about seeing them. Most films that we see, we actually read them. The images represent language, spoken language idea. Someone getting out of a car, someone's walking across the street, someone lights a cigarette. It's that kind of thing, and they accumulate into a narrative. If you try to read these movies, in other words, if you try to say, what does this mean, and then what does that mean, it'll be very unhappy. It won't work, right? They're much more about presence, about nowness, about being in union with the screen, and then the screen offering you the next moment through the montage. So you're in one spatial world, psychic spatial world, and then when you cut, you enter the next spatial world. And so it's about that journey through those images. And it's not what you're trying to figure out what this means. It might take you a while to stop your mind from doing that and actually relax into the present moment, cinema. Most filmmakers also use the screen as a stage, and the bottom of the screen is the bottom of the stage. People stand in the screen and so forth. These films are not theater, they're poetry. So in literature, for instance, you'd be quite used to the idea that there'd be a playwright or a novelist who would a third person form with characters who have problems and they solve them or not before the end and so forth. This is like as if I were a poet. So it's the screen itself, it's about the beauty and energy of the screen itself as a floating world rather than a depiction of the world. And I hope you can enjoy them.